Hits by the pound.
Yeah, this is how we do it in the Central Coast, man. We got 40 ounces, Old English, rag tops, 6'4" Impalas, and bikini girls, man. This is how we do it on the West Coast. San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles. But don't forget about the Central Cali, man. Please don't forget about the Central Cali. Yeah, get 'em.
It's another sunny day in the state of California. Low rider palm trees and G's that put it on ya. This ain't a negative, we speaking ebonics. Rank talk, candy paint on D's with hydraulics. Baseball hat with the sticker on the brim. Don't let the sun blind your sight, cause things can get grim. But I'm not here to talk about banana clips and guns. We're going back to Cali and we're gonna have some fun. A West Coast domination.
And welcome back to Two-Face Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Fred Segura, out here in Monterey County, also known to the world as the Salad Bowl, also known as the Salinas Valley. To the people in LA, we are north. To the people in San Francisco, we are south. Right smack in the middle, best of both worlds. Don't forget about the Central Cali. Anyway, folks, today I'm going to start right off with telling you guys a story that happened to me a few years ago. I've been to a certain store in different parts of the country, of the United States. They're all pretty much the same, they're built the same, restaurants built in the same area, the whatever you're looking for is in the same section. It's pretty much cookie cutter, right? So we'll start off with that. Anyhow, I was in a different area outside my county, and we were out there shopping for I think school clothes, or I forgot what it was. We were shopping for something, but my wife says, well, I'm going to go into this store, into a different store, right? And I already knew she was going to take forever and a day in there. So I said, well, listen, I'm going to go to another store. I'm going to take the car, and then I'll see you. I'll come back. Because I wasn't going to take as long as she does anyhow. So, and the reason I took the car is because the store I wanted to go was way, quite a few blocks down or on the other side of town, whatever. Anyhow, so I proceed to go. I walk into the store, and I'm in need of going to the restroom. So, before I go and purchase what I was going to purchase, I go into, I'm on the phone with somebody now. And as I said before on this channel, I wasn't paying attention. Guilty as charged. I'm walking towards the restrooms, and as I'm walking, I see a guy standing there with a cart and a child in it. A little girl in there. So I proceed to pass him by, and I walk right into the restroom. And the moment I walked in, I was like, wait a minute, where are the urinals at? But I was like, okay, whatever. So I kind of proceeded a little bit more ahead, and I was like, hey, listen, I'll call you back. And then for a minute I was thinking, well, wait, is this one of the co-ed restrooms, or what? Like, what's going on here? But something in the back of my mind told me something's not right here. You know what I mean? So I turned around and I walked out, right? Well, when I walked out, the guy that was standing outside with the little girl, he starts railing on me, right? He's like, hey, man, what the heck? My wife's in there. And I'm like, whoa, bro. Like, hey, you know what? I wasn't trying to do any of that. Like, hey, look, it was a mistake. I didn't know. I'm trying to use the restroom. And he kept pushing the narrative, He kept pushing the issue. And I was like, man, come on, bro. Like, but I wasn't so much in need of using the restroom. I just kind of ignored him. I apologized. I looked him in the face and looked him in the eyes, and I apologized to him, and I kept upon my way. And I went on to the men's restroom. So did what I had to do. As I'm washing my hands, I hear the wife come out, and she's telling him, no, he didn't do anything. I heard somebody go in there, but I don't know who it was. She goes, I didn't really pay attention either, but it was nothing. It was like nothing, nothing happened, So now I'm irritated. I come out the rest of them, they're about to walk away, and I said, hey, man, I go, it was an honest mistake, you know. And he just kind of kept quiet. I got angry over it. It wasn't until the next day when I told my boss at work what had happened, and because I was still upset the next day. And he said, hey, listen, man, you don't know what he's been through. You know, you don't know what happened in the family. You know what I mean? You don't know this, so you can't really just take it out and be selfish about it. That kind of took a while to set in, you know, during that day. And I understood, and it is what it is, you know. But, excuse me, backing up a little bit, before I left the store, I did tell the manager what had happened. And I made it very clear to him that it was an honest mistake. So therefore, we, you know, anyhow. So, like I said, the next day I told my boss and yada, 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 whatever, right? So, excuse me. That brings me up now to speed of today. What happens now? You know what I mean? Like, now, people can get away with that. You know, I mean, I felt guilty and I felt bad, you know what I mean? And I wanted to clear it up. But now people can identify themselves, let's just say, to whatever's going to benefit them at that time. And I'm not saying it's beneficial. I'm saying that people can identify themselves as whatever now. Right? So therefore, I'm not saying I'm against it, but do I think that it's wrong in that sense? It's wrong in the sense of this. It's wrong in the sense of when you're going to use, for example, a public restroom. Because if I'm sitting somewhere, say a food establishment, you know what I mean, whatever, restaurant, whatever it may be, and my little daughters, whatever daughters, go to the restroom. I said, you can go ahead. I'm gonna be watching from right here. And I see a man walk in, or a male, period, walk in. I'm gonna go walk in there at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, hey, you know. And is anybody gonna tell me anything? You know, they're gonna say I'm wrong. They're gonna say, you know, I'm gonna be like, well, I identify myself as a woman. Beard and all, right? Is it, you know, to me, that's where the problem lays, right? That's where the problem lays, that there's going to be issues with that, because without getting into too much detail, guys, there's a lot of weirdos out there. There's a lot of weirdos out there, and that opens the door for a whole lot of other stuff to happen, you know what I mean? And excuses for them to get away with stuff. That's all I'm saying. Is it right? Is it wrong? Hey, you know what? To each their own, as I said before. But understand too that there's certain things that we can do, or that we may like and want to be accepted as. But you also got to understand the repercussions of stuff. See, like my boss told me, don't be selfish, right? Don't be selfish. Also think about the other things too, right? Okay, granted, I get it, but just be responsible, you know what I mean? And be like, hey, listen, like, understand the circumstances. Okay, everybody wants to be accepted, right? But then there's no giving back either. I mean, let's just go there. Now you got a bunch of males identify themselves as women, and taking these women out on sports, beating them up, winning in all these sports and stuff, and identifying themselves as women. It's like, bro, like, what you know, I mean, how do we know if that's really is that really their thing? You know, is that truly how they feel, or are they just using that as a gimmick? You know, it's a very touchy subject to get into, guys. I understand. I'm not trying to offend anybody for that matter. But then, you know, you got a bunch of people who are, you know, just kind of running with this. And at the end of the day, guys, I mean, if I walk somewhere and be like, well, you know, I identify myself as a gorilla. You know, somebody could say, hey, Fred, you're pretty close to it, right? Whatever, all joking aside. I'm not a gorilla. Bottom line, right? I could convert a vehicle. Let's just say I took a Honda Accord or something and converted it and made it look like a Acura or whatever the situation may be, right? At the end of the day, it's still a Honda Accord. I'm not going to touch too much on that, guys. I know how touchy people can be. All I'm saying is you could take a vehicle, you could dress it all up, you could dress it nice. At the end of the day, it's still a certain mark of vehicle that you can never change. There are things in this world we can never change. That's just the bottom line. Love it, hate it, agree with it or not, that's just the way it is. And that's the problem with a lot of people today. Nobody wants to accept that anymore. Everybody's like, no, this is what it is. Well, guess what, guys? Reality check. That's not what it is. I can't go in somewhere and you know, say, hey, you know what? I'm a gorilla. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not gonna be banging my chest or trying to climb a building or, you know what I mean, have anybody feed me bananas or whatever, you know. That's just a fact. That's a fact, guys. That's a fact. And that's one thing that a lot of people have a big problem with today. Because all of a sudden we're all offended. Because, hey, you need to accept me. You need to accept this. No, we don't. Nor, I don't care which way we're looking at it. Do you. Do you. Whatever you do, do you. And the world don't got to know about it. The world don't have to accept it. See me, I have a certain kind of vehicle. I like the certain kind of rims. I like the certain kind of color. I like certain kind of things on it. Right? I don't let anybody else dictate what and how I should have it, or what color it should be, or what rims I should put on it. Because I'm never going to make everybody happy. It's nobody's business. That's my business. What I do with, you know, my wife behind closed door, that's my business. I don't need to expose that to the world. You know? So, that's really the bottom line, guys. We need to get a grip on it together because we're losing it here. And you can't blame, and you know, it's kind of like the race card now where people just kind of throw that at somebody like right away, like oh, well, you know, you're wrong. It's kind of like pulling the race card now. People, you know, as soon as you disagree with something and you say, hey, listen, they pull that card like, hey, you know what, you know, you're a hater, you're a whatever the case may be. You know what, man? That's a poor excuse for not having the words or the what's the word I'm looking for, or the backup, if you will, for lack of a better word. I had something else in mind, but for the backup or for the facts that you are in the wrong, right? That you are in the right. You don't have the facts to back it up. So the next thing is you pull that card. Hey, well, you know what? You're, you know, you're anti this, you're anti that, or you're whatever. That's not cool, man. People did not accept that. Now we're in that generation now where everybody wants to do that. Now everybody wants to, you know what I mean? And everybody has to oblige, oblige by it. Hey, bow down and don't bring it up. It's like, no, it is what it is. Whatever. It is what it is. Be happy, do you. If that makes you happy, hey, rock on with it. right? I don't care if Joe Schmo down the street doesn't agree to that or doesn't like that, right? I don't care if, Joe Schmo down the other street doesn't like the music I like. So what? Right? It is what it is, guys. There's not much to it. I don't want to touch too much on it, but you know what I'm saying, right? With that, this is Two Face Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Fred Segura, signing out.